to on my mother's side, deep, heavy inside of the Christian religion. And at the age of 5, they took on the Shahada. And from there, I was actually, truth be told, I was just following suit, man. Or not just man, but sisters and brothers and type thing. Well, we family, so we just talking. But I actually was just going along with what I actually knew. Cause my father, he was like serious. He wasn't actually no joke, man. There was like a small community of us. We was in Indiana at this point. Actually, Gary, the murder capital of the country, actually a lot, and we had very little to work with, but together they were brother five, little Muslim sisters in the community. But the ones that were there, I'm gonna tell you this: the ones that were there, they were tight. So they weren't no joke, man. They held it down. And when I say that, I mean that they didn't actually, someone actually wasn't actually doing what they were supposed to be doing, or someone wasn't treating their wife right, and one of the sisters actually told her husband about it. Word is spread amongst those brothers, and they go to their brother's door. I mean, because we ain't be so be actually like fighting each other like that, but they actually tighten them up, talk to them. So it was a small community, but they were actually disciplined, and they didn't take nothing. They weren't about and living life just for the sport of it. So with me, I'm growing up underneath those conditions and stuff. It wasn't a lot of freedom, man. I mean, my pops ain't play. He didn't play. My mother, if I would have lived with her by myself, at one point in time we had to. They had to separate for a period of time. It was a lot more loungy, a lot more relaxed, in the sense that her nature was more peaceful. So I kind of gotten a little loose with my dean in that way, because at this point in time I kind of like, it was like I broke free, and I was exposed to a lot of different things in the world. That lasted for about a couple years. I was still making my salats, things of that nature, even though they may not have been properly. So I never at one point in time digressed or regressed. I just didn't elevate myself and push myself, and the love for it and the dedication of it, or digress from the way going to the other wheel. So what ended up happening was, my mother and my father, they had financial issues, man. We had to actually live out on basically out on the street for a period of time. Just couldn't. Look, this was my pops. He was like, man, I'm tired of actually working for, like, basically under the oppression of working under the government and stuff like that, where they actually be cheating and stealing. The system was set up. So he wanted to do for himself, as we're supposed to do as Muslims. We're supposed to do the best we can for ourselves. So he and the other brothers leading that. So they get out there in the street, and they were actually, in a proper way, not doing no drugs, but they would try to actually sell different things to people. He was an electrician, do in and odd jobs doing that, make the money and provide for the house. That wasn't a lot, you know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna make a lot of money doing that, doing your own thing, not really having a business. But he tried it, and because he refused to actually go back to doing what he was doing before, which was like being a chemist. Dude was like a biochemist. He had a lot of money at one point in time when he was working in Chicago, but he stopped it. He made a choice. He's tired of working for the people, and because they weren't giving him anything, he didn't believe his talents and what he believed in, they were appreciating it. So he decided to work for himself. So things got hard when that happened. Meaning we have like nothing really we didn't have much to eat during the week a lot of times. So what ended up happening was we ended up having to split apart again. Second time we had to split apart, because my pops, he could only actually provide for himself, and my mother, she had my aunt, her sister, and her my grandmother, her mother, that were willing to take us under their wing again. And that's what ended up happening. I don't fall in either. They tried to do the best they could. The truth is, they actually had heart. A lot of us right now, we ain't got a lot of heart today. We actually, we don't have that heart that our parents and our grandparents actually had, whether they're Muslim or not. But the ancient, our generation of old, they had a lot of heart at that point in time. So I respect that, and I can look at that and appreciate that. But I wasn't really doing, when I was living with my dad, coming to the deen, I really wasn't. I was doing what I was supposed to do because he would always make me do it, not because I love to do it. You understand what I'm saying? Some of you do. If it's time, when it's time for salat, we can find enjoyment in doing it, making salat. Not just because we're supposed to, but we can actually look forward to it. Sometimes we get a nice feeling within ourselves and say, wow, this is a beautiful thing. I'm looking forward to it. You don't have a problem with it. Where other times it's like, man, I can't wait to get over with type thing. You know what I'm saying? So when I was with him, yeah, he was real strict and stern. I couldn't, and I was always trying to break free and trying to get loose and hang out with my friends. He didn't believe in that because they were, as he added, they were kuffars, But they were cool with me, but he knew what he was doing. I didn't understand it. So I had to be in the house by like 5 o'clock in the evening, basically, and that was it. So I had no free time, no play time, stuff like that. So I was a Muslim under the household, in that household, but I didn't enjoy it at that time because I wasn't getting the fulfillment of the blessings or getting the fulfillment of the beauty of it because of the conditions on how I was living. It didn't change until I turned about 21. 21, that's when things actually changed. And that's when I actually started to really like love it at that point. And get the confirmation when Allah says that He's closest to you. He's closer to you than your jugular vein, closer to you than your next breath. I actually understood that, and there's reasons for that, but that's going into the next session, the next half of my life, I guess, which I don't mind sharing with you all for everything. So I'll do that the next time. But I never reverted. I was always Muslim because my parents didn't become Muslim until the age of 5. But I didn't start growing into the love of Islam and really start appreciating and living like a Muslim as we're told we're supposed to, and appreciate living like that until I turned about 21. So everything up until that point, I was Muslim, but I didn't actually fully understand exactly why I was doing what I was doing, other than this is what I'm told to do. So there's levels of actually of being Muslim and fulfilling that, and the bigger part is actually loving to actually do what you're doing as a Muslim. That didn't happen until I turned about 21, and there's a reason, and there's a whole different life structure that took place at that point. So as they say, stay tuned, I guess, for those who actually want it. We do that next time, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. I like to listen to y'all because y'all funny on the mic anyway. I be in and out of different rooms and stuff. But as I was saying, I didn't actually finish it. You go in other rooms, they actually call you. They hear African American. They actually assume that just for the people in the rest of the world. I don't know where y'all are actually at. I know someone said they from the States, but I heard sister talk. She has the accent from Britain or someplace. Nice. Nice accent and stuff. And my brothers too. The people in the States, all African American Muslims, are not convicts. They have not been to jail, although some have. But this is the beauty of Islam. This is the beauty of what Allah has already told us what will happen, as it will supersede and move past all other religions. Islam will. But He didn't tell us exactly how He was going to do it. All we're witnessing is just people just coming in folds and crowds into the deen from many different ways and many different aspects and all different reasons. Some of it is even a style. I tell you, in Philly, I don't know if anybody out here is from Philly, but you go to Philadelphia, you get online and check out just Germantown Avenue and stuff like that. I'm telling you, man, there's a lot of young boys, and it's like a style, walking around with the pants cut off up to the ankles. You know what I'm saying? We understand it, but to them it's like a style. A lot of the young boys are getting caught into that, and whatever is a style that the older people do, the younger people seem to flock to. So right now, I know in Philly and around that east area like that, it's like a fad. But here's the thing, though. Even if it's a style, it doesn't matter, because the people who get caught into the style, sometimes those Muslims who actually claim to be Muslim with the big Sunnis and stuff like that, the young boys just doing it for another reason. But after a while, they may actually start to love the deen, like I did. But it took a period of time, actual way of pull people. So he's grabbing people from all different directions, and then people can't keep up with why is it happening like that. So he was like different people, and they try to pull us apart and actually with different things on different levels, just to actually keep us not unified, if they can, because it is something that they actually are worried about for the wrong reasons, but which are they're not a part of the truth. So they're bothered by that. So they actually accuse a lot of people from different backgrounds or different things to try to divide us, so that we look at one another different and strange. So when I come into the room, I kind of keep quiet. I sit back and listen for just to observe. What I don't do when you get a few Muslims in the same room actually talking, to keep the confusion down, because everybody we're at the point now we have a lot of different things, and all of us actually are scholars. We know that. All of us as Muslims, we know each one of us in our own mind, we're some kind of scholars, except for those of us who are real humble. Very few of us, But for the most part, we have a lot of scholars running around, self-proclaimed scholars. They get in one room and they actually start battling one another in front of everybody else, in front of all the kuffars. So when it's like that, I just sit back and I just enjoy brothers and sisters, enjoy the conversation, but not engage in it when it gets to that point, because at some point it's going to actually end up being a battle as to who has the most knowledge about Islam, and that's not what we actually should be doing, man. We got our own thing to be worried about, truthfully. So I sit back in the room like I did in this room for like 2 hours, listen to Miss Anissa. She was actually hollering at somebody in the room, trying to get them to get on the mic. So, but I enjoy it though. So at any point later on, to be continued, the second part of what actually got me to the point of what happened to me in my transformation from one level of being a Muslim to the next level of elevating my Muslim status. And that can be done, and that should be done with us at all points in time, every day if we could. It should always be an elevation of our Islamic conduct and our Islamic way of life, for those of us who think of it like that. But again, I'm not perfect, so, but I'll tell y'all that story at some point in time, inshallah, in the future, if Allah wills it to be done. With that, somebody else got to get up here on the mic. Y'all gotta hold it down, man. Y'all gotta get up on the mic and finish it up. And inshallah, I'll talk to y'all later. Assalamu alaikum.
Brighter days, jazakallah khair, man. Wa alaikum salam. Thank you for that. Yeah. Okay, I will go downstairs. Yeah, I've been called for food, so say la ilaha illallah. Mic shows, man. Alright. Take your time, inshallah. Alright. By the way, you're playing Quran, and okay, you're playing Quran, and then finished. Then Stallion came on, Mike, because I red dotted you. Must have been in your playlist, bro. So I read that was funny. Anyway, inshallah. Perhaps someone could take the mic or play Quran or play Electra, inshallah. Keep the room busy. Alright. Take care, guys. Assalamu alaikum.